Hello, my name is Brittany and welcome to Family Fridays Paint Night. A few words before we begin. Thank you for your continued interest and support for this workshop. You can expect a new video every third Friday of the month for the foreseeable future until we can resume classes in person at the Art and Spirituality Center. Speaking of which, there are other classes being held virtually if you are interested in taking any of those. I'll leave the link to our virtual calendar in the description box below. As a reminder, my class was made to promote bonding between family and friends. You do not need to be an artist to enjoy art. My art isn't perfect, so don't think yours needs to be either. To all those participating in this activity, I want you to try your best and don't worry about the outcome. My hope is for you to let go, get lost in the artistic process, and forget about what's currently happening in the world, even just for a little bit. One last thing before we begin. Feel free to pause, rewind, fast forward, mute, or do anything you need in order to follow along with this video. I normally take over 3 hours to complete a painting, even though my class runs about 2.5 hours. For the sake of time and to make a short video, the clips you see of me painting are sped up significantly. Please, by all means, relax and take your time. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Here is what we will be painting for October of 2021. Disclaimer, this is not my original artwork as I found it somewhere on the internet. I do not take credit for this concept and I wish I could find the original artist to give credit. Think of this as a study of the original artwork. In the spirit of Halloween at the end of this month, here we have a haunted house in front of an eerie night sky accompanied by black cats, bats, owls, pumpkins, and a spooky tree. Feel free to take artistic control, change the colors, make additions or adjustments, or change it up completely. The choice is yours. Alright, let's talk about paint. We'll be using acrylic paint for this activity. You can use the fancier, more expensive paints if you want to. For this project, I'll be using paints you can find at your local craft store or even Walmart that are less than $1. We'll need a few colors: red, orange, yellow, purple, black, and white. We'll need a few brushes today: a large flat brush, a medium flat brush, a medium round brush, and a thin detail brush. Some other materials we will need: something to put under the canvas or canvas board such as a tablecloth or newspaper. You can also use a matte board like this one I've used several times. Of course, you need something to paint on. I personally will be using a canvas board, 12 by 16 specifically. You can use an actual canvas of any size as well. Then we have our paints. You'll need a plate to put the paint on. You can also use a palette if you have one, a water cup to clean your paintbrushes, and lastly, a paper towel or an old towel. I'm using the old towel that I have used for other paintings, as you can see here. Okay, order of operations, how this painting will go. First, we're going to do the colors of the night sky, the colors around the moon, and then the haunted house. Then we will add our stars to our sky. Next, we will add this little hill that the house sits on. Then we will start tracing out and painting our haunted house with all these fun little shapes, triangles, rectangles, etc. Next, we will paint out in yellow our windows and our door. Next, we'll add in some details around the windows and then the fence up top and our little chimney. Then we will paint out our little side fence with our black cat. Other little details such as the pumpkin, then our spooky tree, followed by our bats. Alright, let us begin. So first I'm going to start off by pouring out my paint onto my palette. I am going to pour out some white, purple, red, orange, and black. Okay, let's start painting. So first I'm going to start off with the background, which is our night spooky sky. So first I am mapping out where I want my moon to go. The colors around the moon will be a light purple to like a reddish purple to a black. And then behind our haunted house will be like a glowing orange to red to black. There is a little section kind of halfway from the canvas where those two blends will meet. So just letting you know that part does get a little tricky. You will see here that doing the background is where I took the most time on my painting because, as we know, I love to blend colors and I just wanted to get it just right. So you can use different colors if you want to. You don't have to do the glowing orange behind the haunted house or anything like that. But again, I was just trying to go off of the reference picture. So to me, the reference picture had the purple to the red to the black, kind of just in this circular motion, just how we're doing. And then it also had a different direction, a different blend from the orange to red to black. So I did struggle with this just a little bit, and I did do multiple layers, but don't get frustrated, just have fun, enjoy the music, take your time, and like I mentioned, this will take up a bit of your time, and I did have to play with my colors to have it blend in a way that I wanted to. But not to worry, the haunted house does cover a lot of the canvas, so even if you feel like you have mistakes, the black house will pretty much cover it up. So as you can see right here, this is where the two different blend techniques will meet. So I'm going in from a red to an orange, and it kind of connects at this black part right here. So I'm going to be doing a couple different techniques just to get it how I like it. But yeah, this is what we're doing. We are just working on the different colors of the red, purple, black, and red sky. And then it'll all come together once we add the stars. Hello there, welcome back. I see that you made it. Glad you're here. So now we're going to be adding the stars to the background with my medium flat brush. I'm just going to paint the stars on there, flicking it in an upwards flicking motion with some watered down white paint. And then I just want to get my moon just as white as possible. But when you do that star flicking motion, just aim down towards the canvas just so that all of these little speckles don't get anywhere you don't want them to. And next we will paint out the ground, or these little hills that the haunted house will be sitting on. Okay, so now we are going to be tracing out and painting our haunted house. So a little trick that I'm doing here, I am just trying to get the angle of the top of the roof that I want. And I'm going to do that by basically lining up against a paintbrush that I have. And this haunted house is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be whimsical, not symmetrical, and just a little funky. So feel free to make them as extreme in shapes as you want. I was just trying to go with the reference picture again. So first, probably a little bit halfway of the canvas, I did that nice little angle, and then I did 2 other little angles coming from that top mark, and then I'm going to trace it at the bottom just to make like a little trapezoid. I think that's the shape, a little trapezoid shape. And then from there, I am going to do the sides of the house and then paint all of that in. And then similarly, there is a little tower, or I guess a little second story on top of the roof. And it's just basically a triangle and a rectangle. So again, you can make it as short as you want, as tall as you want, as thick, as skinny. This is one of the paintings that I really wish that we were in class in person together, because I would love to see all the different shapes of your haunted houses. So if you do follow us on Facebook or Instagram or have our email, please send your paintings because I really want to see them. And then if you want, with your permission, we can post them on our social media. So right now we are just going to do the outline and the silhouette of our haunted house. And with my thin detail brush, I'm just going to add some little curly cues to the ends of the roof, just like the little bottom corners. Okay, now we are going to add our chimney, our little twisty chimney. So I'm basically making a curved pipe. It kind of looks like a little S. And then on top of that, I'm just going to do another little triangle, just like another little tower. Okay, and now is a fun time to add all of these little details. So first I'm going to make like a little spiked fence, or kind of like a little balcony for that tall tower. So on either side of that little middle tower, I'm just going to do some upwards motions with my thin detail brush, and then I'm going to make a line going across for the gate. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the windows. So we're going to work on the light that is shining through the windows. So I'm going to pour out some yellow paint, and with my medium round brush, I'm just going to do a couple of layers so it looks not as translucent. I'm just doing yellow because that is what was in the reference picture. I would love to see some creativity, and maybe there's like a red light shining in the haunted house, or a green, or multicolor, or something peeking in the window. Oh my gosh, it's endless. The creativity, what you can do is endless. The possibilities are endless. So I'm just doing some basic shapes of the window. So first in that tower, I'm going to do a circle, then I'm going to do like a little oval with a little flat bottom, and then going on to the main portion of the house, I'm just going to be doing a series of basically like half circles, and then a nice little doorway shape. So I did do a couple of layers of this. Again, you don't have to. It might take you just one layer. It is completely up to you. Okay, so now that we are done with the yellow, I'm going to go ahead and do the bars on the window. These are just little lines that separate the little panels. So you can do them however you want. Make them a little crooked, make them multiple, make them slanted. It is completely up to you. Be as creative as you want. Okay, so now I'm going to do my little side gate that the black cat will sit on. So I'm just going to make a little line going off of the page that is connected to the house, and I'm going to do some bars that are crooked and just enough space, probably just like 4 little lines. And then I'm going to do the body of the cat. The body just looks like some parentheses, shapes, little curved lines that I'm filling in. And then I am going to do the head of the cat, which is just a circle, and then little triangles for the ears. And don't forget to do the little tail, and I'm just going to kind of do like a little twist, kind of looks like an upside down question mark. Okay, now that we have basically the silhouettes of everything done, now with my thin detail brush and some white paint, I'm just going to add just a few highlights onto some of the black parts that we did, just to give it a little shine and it's basically the reflection of the moon. So I'm not doing it all the way, just on certain parts, so like the tops of the towers, that curved pipe, just things like that. And if you do feel like you added too much white, just let it dry and you can paint it back over with black paint. You will see that I did feel like I added too much white right around the windows and that little hill. I ended up not liking it, so I painted it over again with black. So feel free to do anything you need. There is no mistakes, just happy accidents. So right here, I'm just going to do some detail work on the gate and the cat, and don't forget our little gate up top, right on our little balcony at that top tower too. And once we are done with all of our white highlights, I will check back in with you. Okay, we are almost done actually. So now we are going to work on our spooky tree. I do apologize in advance that you might not be able to see the outlines I'm doing right now, because I am doing just the silhouette of the tree, and the area that I'm painting on is pretty dark already. So you kind of can't see it right now unless you see the shine of the wet paint. But after this, we will go over it again with some white paint just to like put some highlight in there, and then you'll be able to see it. But for right now, I'm just going to do a basic tree like how we've done in the past. So first we start with the trunk, and right here I'm just making it kind of like this weird curvy S shape, and then from there I'm branching off, and the branches that I do, I just think of them as the letter Y. So I make a little Y, and then from there another little Y, and it just branches off like that. So just do the tree to the best of your ability. I do apologize, you really can't see it here, but once this dries and we add our white highlights, you will see what I just did. a couple of things before we go on and add all of the white highlights. First, I'm going to do a little owl in the tree, so kind of just basically the same shape as the cat. A circle for the body, circle for the head, and then 2 triangles for the ears. And then right here by the base of the tree, I'm just going to do 2 little pumpkins, just the silhouettes for now. A little circle, and then a smaller circle, and then don't forget the little stems. And then right up here by the moon, we're going to add 2 little bats. First, I'm going to start with the body, just a nice little circle. And then for the wings, I'm just starting off with a little triangle, kind of like an M shape. And then right here, just another little M shape for the wings, kind of like an upside down W. And I'm going to do the exact same thing for the little bat. Okay, now this is the very last step of what we're going to do before we're done. So now is the time with my thin detail brush to add all of the white highlights to some of the things that we just painted black. So first I'm going to go back in and highlight just a little bit of the body, the head, and a little bit of the ears of the owl sitting in the tree. So just basically on the bottom part and the right side. Now I'm going to do the highlights of the tree, so now we'll really get to see the shape of what we just did. So basically, same thing, I'm just going to do a line going all the way from the bottom to the top of the tree, just focusing on one side, and then from there, again, just the little Y shapes of our branches. I'm not outlining the whole tree, the left and the right side, just one side, just to kind of get the same effect that we did on the haunted house of the pipe and the roof, the little triangle roof, just to make it look like it is shining in the moonlight. And then the very last thing, just gonna add a few highlights onto our pumpkins, and then we're done. And that is it, my friends. Good job if you made it this far and completed the painting. I'm happy with my finished product, and I hope you are with yours too. If your painting looks different from mine, that is totally fine. As you know, I miss everyone, and I really wish I were with my Family Friday class painting alongside them and having our yearly birthday party. I'm also happy to know that more people have had the chance and opportunity to do art safely at home and on their own time. I hope these videos bring you joy and you were able to relax and not worry about the current events of the world, even just for a little bit. Please stay safe, have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time.